welcome to another edition of Oral Pathologist in Focus. If you are a young oral pathologist or a dentist looking for a career option, then this is for you. I'm Dr. Mandana Donahue, and with me today is Dr. Shruti B.S. She's an oral pathologist and a very successful researcher now. She is going to share the path she took to her current position and what role, if any, her oral pathology degree had in this career. Welcome, Shruti. It's indeed a great pleasure to have you with us. Thank you for agreeing to share your time and your experiences with us. Hi, Shruti.
Hi, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you?
I'm also fine. It's so lovely to see you.
Same here, ma'am. Actually, I was waiting,
It's been such a long time.
Yes, yes.
Technology is so wonderful, no?
No, as in like probably this was there a little quite ago also. Probably we
Yes.
didn't use it, I guess.
Yes.
As in we were
Correct.
not actually, what to say, forced to use these things.
Yes.
Nowadays
Correct.
we are forced to use and probably we are using it at the best level we can.
We can. That's true. Otherwise, we were not really using it. How's everything with COVID in Bangalore?
Yes, it's going on, ma'am. Probably the whole world knows the city living like Chennai. It's really affected very badly, but somehow, the public health actually here is quite structured and they're able to manage it quite well. But nowadays, it's actually coming back to normal. It's transitioning to the normalcy quite a more, and people are still more aware, as in like they have actually built that awareness in themselves and they are maintaining all those social distance and following the rules, and quite a bit is happening. But actually very nice to see that, as in India things are really like this working out so well, having COVID, but still things are working out so well. So that's, people have learned a lot of lesson because of this COVID. That's what actually I could make out.
Yes, that is true. A lot has changed and a lot we learned, and hopefully we'll learn more. And we'll come out the other side better and a more stronger and definitely a healthier nation. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
let's get directly to it. So, what can you tell us about the path you took to become a researcher? How did you get there from academics to research? And also, I noticed public health.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Actually, to tell the truth, ma'am, if you remember my journal discussion, as in the JD topic was, as in JD, and even my library dissertation topic, most of them, actually, that was with proteomics. Okay, that was
Yes.
actually first hit where I got, as in interest in genetics and about proteins. So that is when I thought that I should actually do something more about these proteins and genes and stuff. But another one part of mine was like, as in some people around me, like, even my staff basically were like, hey, you teach well, you are a good teacher, you should become a teacher, something of that sort. So both were there hand in hand. And initially I got an opportunity to actually get into a college, and then I worked as an academician for almost some 1.5 years. There I really got some good staff, senior staffs, where, like, they really helped me in publishing lots and lots of articles for the work which I had done in post graduation. So in a matter of 1.5 years, I could really publish almost some 6 to 7 articles in various journals. That too, some important journals like Journal of Cancer Research and Therapeutics, something like, which has got a good impact factor basically. So because of that, actually, that, increased my what to say, urge of learning more about genetics. That is when I went into, as in the PG diploma in genetics, which was actually offered by one of the universities in Karnataka. Though it was a distant learning course, but it taught a lot about basics of genetics. So it helped me to understand, as in whatever I had learned in MDS as a disease, I could really apply in terms of genetics and learn more about those diseases and genetics of those diseases. So I worked in these ways, and I happened to move to Chennai after that from Andhra, where I was working as an academician. I happened to move to Chennai after that. And in Chennai, sadly, or I don't know, it's fortunately, I did not get this academician job basically. I really tried, but somehow it did not work well. And I probably didn't also want to go into, as in like just going and sitting and, as in just teaching and coming back. Probably wanted to do little more and tried some stem cell research companies. People must have heard like LifeCell. It's a, one of the popular stem cell research company which is there in actually India. So I got into that, where I got little involved in dental stem cell research, where they actually take the stem cells from primary teeth and they culture it, something like a cell culture and tissue culture in laboratory. So I got to work in there for some, I think 1.5 years I got to work in there. During that time, I was even, along with that, I was working on publishing many articles. My dissertation articles and all those actually came out in good journals like all PubMed indexed journals. And in 2016, I just got an offer from one of the major hospital on diabetes. Basically, it's one of the famous hospital in the whole city, MB Hospital for Diabetes. From this hospital, they even have a research center, that is Professor M. Vishwanathan Diabetes Research Center. In that research center, I got an offer for a project manager. To tell the truth, I really didn't have any idea about how they're actually going to, as in ask me to work and what is the project manager role. I really, by the word project manager, I really thought that it is very administrative and, as in like not really to the, actually the field what I want to do and stuff. So I actually thought of denying it initially, but it happened that I got to talk to that director first. So director explained me what is actually the work, and he actually told me that it is too much involved in the research of TB and diabetes. That is where it was like too much, as in what to say, it was appealing to me that yes, this is the field which you always wanted to go, and now the opportunity has come for you to take it up. If I miss this, probably I would miss the greatest thing in my life. That is what I thought, and I took it up. From 2016 onwards, I actually started my actual research journey. This research, if you want me to give a brief of it, it's a mixed research wherein it involves both dry and wet. What I mean by dry research is interviewing patients, getting the information about how they are dealing with their disease and all those things. And the wet research is collecting the sample, and sample will be like assessed with so many analysis, like, as in flow cytometry, ELISA, which we only read in books once upon a time. It was just happening like anything in those laboratories to analyze their immune cells and all that. This was the wet research part. So this is how actually I got into this particular research.
Okay, that's really very interesting. So tell me, do you feel now, essentially you've gone in a way out of oral pathology, I guess, if you think about the very typical oral pathology concept. So, but do you feel that oral pathology helped you in any way in your path?
Very much, very much. Because even when I was studying oral pathology, I was always interested in why the disease is coming and what made it to happen and exhibit in this way. The symptoms, what is shown in the disease, or as in like how every disease differentiates from one disease to another disease. Exactly, to put in the word, it is pathogenesis. So that pathogenesis part actually helped me to understand, and apply in the field of diabetes and TB also, because it was almost the same even here. So when I actually apply that same pathogenesis and try to understand, it's all about again the immunity, inflammation, what we learned in pathology. So that really helped me a lot, and that made a, as in foundation. Probably those articles what I published because of my MDS made my selection easy in this field.
Correct. So that would have made a difference. That is true. I also noticed you have done a diploma in public health. How did that feature in the whole thing?
That is very recent, ma'am. That is just an year ago. Actually, to tell the truth, though research appears so beautiful, it is all project. It's as in it'll have a definite year, as in terms. Basically, it's a 5-year project or a 2-year project or something of that sort. So actually, whatever project I was working, the TB and diabetes, it was a 5-year project, and it was going to end by 2019. And when it was almost getting over, I got an offer from a public health project. It is actually more of public health, where we work for community health, providing treatment, facilitating diagnosis, along with a research component. So that is where I felt that, as in like, if I have a degree of public health, it would really benefit me in providing the actual thing what they want from me. So that is when I pursued my diploma in public health from Annamalai University.
That's true. Okay, that's fine. So, Shruti, what would you say now to youngsters, whether oral pathologists or for that matter dentists, who may want to follow this path? What should they do? How should they go about it?
Actually, ma'am, they can take oral pathology as their basic, but after oral pathology, it is always better if they really want to do a research, or if they want to go for some research field, they have to first identify the institutes where the research is happening, ma'am. The very first thing. And apart from this identification, they will have to work on their research first. Whatever they have done in their MDS, they'll have to try publishing it in better journals. That actually gives you a foundation to get into these things. When I got into MB also, they saw my, as in articles published in different journals, and they asked few things about like what is research, and the few modalities of research, what I had worked on and all that. And based on that only they recruited. It's not that they wanted a degree in research exactly, something like a PhD itself. Very beginning they didn't want, but they wanted to know my experience in research. So if people work in publishing articles in good journals, like provided the work is good enough, so publishing those articles in good journals would surely help them. The very first thing. Second is to identify where the research is happening in those particular field, whichever they want to. And the third is like, if possible, hand in hand, when they are doing oral pathology itself, nowadays a lot of online courses are available on research, ma'am. Okay, so if they can do those online course, especially research methodology, even about data, qualitative data, quantitative data assessment, like this, if they do those online course, they'll get an idea like how research works. Because what I saw as a research in post graduation is very, very different from actual research which is happening in the world. What we did is hardly some sample collection and assess the sample, and that's all. But actually, when in reality, the research is a very different thing. As in, to give an example, it was like I just did a study on forensic and age estimation, taking all the articles, seeing that, okay, this is this, let me do a comparison study, as simple as that. But nowadays, what actually I'm working on is something like, as in coming up with a vaccine for TB, coming up with a vaccine for TB apart from BCG, which is there. Apart from BCG, like, BCG, we all know that it is given in childhood and which doesn't work in adult. So we are coming up with some vaccine which can be given to all TB patients at the end of their treatment. Once they are done with their treatment, give a shot of vaccine, and that's all. Assure the patient that he won't get TB again. Imagine how wonderful it is if we come up with that. So something of that sort we are working out, and if it comes out that way, it would be really like, as in making India TB free is like, no more a dream if we come out with such kind of thing. So actual research is working in that way, basically. So probably even in PG, if we actually, create that inquisitiveness in all post-graduation students, that please try to see an article as an article where you can draw something out in that rather than copying the same, imitating the same, or something of that sort. But I'm truly telling, when I did it, I did the same. Like, I just took two articles and compared the both methods. And then when I actually saw, yes, I did it as a new research, but really did it make any difference? Nothing much. But if our research makes some difference, then only it will have that value. That's what actually I felt after joining this actual research.
Yes, that is sadly exactly. I mean, I think we have had this discussion so many times when you all were students, and it was really very difficult to give you this perspective at that point in time. I think, and that happens with most students. At that point, if your seniors are telling you, no, find something new, and what is the purpose of it, you get the feeling that it's just sort of all getting delayed, and so there's a sense of hurry there. That sadly is the problem, not looking at research for the fact that it is just another training,
Correct.
the process is important more than the end result. As far as MDS, or for that matter, I think I would say even in PhD, is that the whole process of how you do it and what you do is really a lot more important than the end result. But yeah, it is good that people now, youngsters and people like you who with some experience, and yet you have gone through it, and you can tell the youngsters this, it makes a lot of difference, and it's good that you're sharing that. Yes, definitely, it's very good. Now, to be very clear, and I would like to put a very clear picture to everybody. From what I recall, I guess that you have always been on top of your batch. You had exceptionally good high marks in your BDS, and you topped in your MDS. So obviously, not everyone is going to have those marks. It's just not possible. So what do you think? Do you think it is that is going to make a great difference, or is it all right? I mean, reasonably good grades will do.
No, I don't think the marks anyway matter. Actually,
Okay.
I felt it, as in marks was just one addition. Probably, it all depends on those 3 hours, how you write and what you write. Though you have read so much, and if you are not able to write, or if you are not able to, as in recall at that time, that just, lowers your marks. I never felt that marks helped me in any way, basically. Throughout, probably the interest what I had in the subject, and because of that, I built some inquisitiveness in myself about all this genetics and, as in proteomics. That is what helped me, because nowhere, as in like my degree certificate marks was not considered for any job. My articles were considered. So the experience what I got about, doing like research and publishing those studies, and getting published in better journal, choosing a journal where to publish, all these things mattered. Like marks really, I don't think it mattered anywhere, basically. Rather, like it just made me happy. Sometime whenever I go back and see my mark sheet, probably I feel happy that yes, that's all.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Okay, so that is a very good thing. So basically, anybody who is interested, I think, has no excuse for not doing it. Yeah. And this has really been very helpful. Any other, advice you want to give the youngsters?
Actually, ma'am, advice as in only one thing, that see, I heard that the people are not taking oral pathology these days, and seats are going empty and stuff. This is where actually they have to see that what they want to do after oral pathology. Okay, so if they really want to go to a college, become a professor, become a HOD, and then get retired and all that life, then as in it is not possible these days. They have to understand that first. And second thing, do they really love the subject? truly speaking, I wanted to become an oral pathologist. I loved the subject, and I took, my ranking was low enough that I would have got some other seat also, but still I took oral pathology, and I took in cards because I had heard that I'll get good exposure. And the same way, I got really good exposure in that, like, multiple varieties of cases. Like, I had never, even in my, when I went for a job as an academician, I never got to see so many slides of different diseases, which I got in post graduation. So, like, very good exposure in that way. So that is what actually created a love towards all this diagnosis and pathogenesis, why so many different kinds of diseases, and why they come off and they come off and all that thing. So that really made a very good foundation. So if they like oral pathology, they can surely do good things even after actually, doing oral pathology and taking that foundation. I would say that Robbins, Schaeffer's, and Neville are like such wonderful books, and three books which actually changes your life if you really study well. That is what. Like, Robbins has a very great foundation, and upon that, a creamy layer of your oral pathology by these two books, which helps you make a complete pathologist, to tell the truth. And that pathology will make you to go into research field. Even for that matter, if you want to practice, you can surely do practice. If you want to teach also, as in, I forgot to tell you this one thing about what I'm doing. As in, I told you that I wanted to become a teacher also, and everybody around me had told that you can teach, and I also went into the same thing. So I along with my husband started here coaching academy for NEET. So we are still running that academy who are aspiring for NEET, and that is like coaching for all the interns. So along with that, I didn't stop myself, or I didn't stop myself from teaching, because I really wanted to teach what I knew, all the whys behind this facts. I wanted to transfer that knowledge from myself to everybody, which was, I really felt that it is really lacking in the next generation, what I saw in my previous students and all those things. So I wanted to transfer that, and I tried actually, and it is like quite good. People are happy to learn more, and whatever they learn as one view of dental histology, the other side of, I still remember your example, that brick and cement for caries, the proteolytic theory and all that. So that actually, that kind of explanation really helps every student understand. As in, I every time when I talk about caries, I recall that explanation, and I tell that my teacher had told like this. So this explanation, if you remember for a long time, you will never forget the theory. So something of that sort. So I, like, try to balance my research aspiration, and along with that my teaching aspiration, and tried continuing in both the fields in this way. Though no colleges offered, like a sad truth, of course I didn't get the job. I applied in many colleges, but I didn't get. Then only I realized that that is not my cup of tea. I have to work something else actually, and this is not for me. That's why I'm not getting. Then probably I went into as in like all this research field, and by God's grace, yes, it's happening well these days.
This is really wonderful that you have, what I would say, really turned what was going wrong into something, into a new opportunity. And that is exactly what we want our youngsters to know. Of course, I mean, I love oral pathology, and I'm very glad to say it's a great subject. And I would really love everyone who's there to love it as much, and I feel very sad that youngsters are feeling a little disappointed simply because they have totally put their entire belief, entire hopes into the colleges. And
Exactly.
colleges cannot take so many people. That was always an expected outcome. So now I'm really happy that, you are sharing, and a lot of people are coming forward. It's really nice of you. The other day, Pratibha spoke, and today you are speaking. It's very nice that you're sharing your experiences and your time to the youngsters. And I hope that they will all get new ideas. So one last thing, Shruti, if anyone wants to get in touch with you and get your advice, how can they, what is the best way of getting in touch with you?
My email is best way, ma'am, actually. If they can mail me anytime, as in probably in the video itself, we can share the email
Yes.
ID down. Yes, so
Yes.
that they can ping me anytime and get in touch with me for any this kind of, as in like about obtaining a grant and how to approach the institutes which are doing some research in these kind of like could be even TB or diabetes. There are other research fields also, like cancer and all that. So approaching those institutes about all this, probably I'll be really happy to guide them. And I'm really actually, I want people to love this subject. Basically, I feel sad that people see this in a manner where this subject will not fetch you anything in the future, so don't go to that subject. It is like so much sad thing to know when that kind of thing is happening to your subject. So as in, I'll be happy to guide anybody whoever wants to go in this field. And it's such a nice pleasure really to actually have this opportunity and meet you after such long time and share all this.
Yes, same here. It has really been great. So yes, I will put your email in the description below. And
Yes.
it was really great meeting you and catching up after such a long time. I hope we can stay a little more in touch now, thanks to all this technology. But yes, I definitely wish you all the very best, and hope you will keep achieving newer, greater heights all the time, and you will definitely spread your love for the subject around, and many will be very, very much encouraged to continue in oral path and also to take up oral path. So this has been really great, Shruti. Thank you for being with us and hope to see you soon sometime.
Sure, ma'am.
Bye.
Thanks a lot for the opportunity, and I wish everyone all the very best in whatever they want to pursue. But just try your 100% what you want to do. Surely the success will be there for all of us for that matter. Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
it is true. Welcome. Bye,
Bye,
Shruti.
ma'am. Bye.
Bye. So thank you everybody for watching Oral Pathologist in Focus. If you find the content useful, please hit the subscribe button, like and share the video. Also share your thoughts and suggestions on how we can improve this, how we can bring you content that's more useful to you, and stay safe and healthy. Cheers till the next time.